California, Mr. LaMalfa.
Gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you so much, Chairman Smith, for helping us with our legislation all this time here. And I'm very grateful also to Mr. Stubbe for allowing our bill to be piggyback with his in this effort here, as well as the 7024 Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act, which is still waiting over in the Senate. I hope we can get that one, but I'm very grateful for everybody to join this effort here today, a strong bipartisan effort to move this narrower, very important disaster relief package to help people all across the country, has been said. My colleague Mike Thompson, thank you so much for our partnership on this. It's taken some time, and we're getting there. I'm glad to see. And, you know, with the losses that we've suffered, along with our constituents, of course, especially, it's very painful to see and to not be able to go back to them and say we've gotten a result yet. But my own constituents, I commend them. I'm grateful for them. They've been very, very patient. The victims of the Camp Fire, where 85 lives were lost, the Zog Fire, my neighbors down there in Santa Rosa area, and of course my good friend Ms. Tokuda over there, Lahaina, who suffered even more greatly loss of life than what ours had been a record in paradise. We don't want to set records, we want to get results. And so it's just been a great partnership on top of disaster and heartache. So just picture this though. As I talk about paradise, you wake up in the morning, you hear there's a fire, all of a sudden there's an evacuation. People are crowding the narrow roadways trying to get up the hill or down the hill, out of town, barely making it in some cases, scorched vehicles, tires on fire, all that. They're seeing their rearview mirror, their neighborhood engulfed in flames, their houses going down. All their mementos, as was mentioned, are in them. They're wondering, did their neighbor get out? Did the elderly lady get up the street? Thank goodness there was a firefighter or a neighbor that maybe helped that lady get out just in time, so there was not even worse loss of life. The resilience of these folks in the fires that I've had in my district and my neighbors and my other neighboring states is just amazing as they've stuck with us on this. So a settlement happened with the utility to somehow partly compensate, and indeed, they'll never be made whole. My colleagues have pointed that out well. They can never be made whole, even with a lot of money. That settlement should not be a taxable event. Now think about it. Just break that down for a minute. You're in your home, you've been paying off your mortgage, maybe it's already paid off, you've got your equity in your home. So this disaster happens, you lose your home. All of a sudden you've got to rearrange your life, you've got to rebuild your life. Well, that portion of that equity that now is going to be compensated for partly by the settlement with the utility, that portion of your home is now a newly taxable event because of the IRS interpretation on that. How is that right? How is that fair at all? That you have ripped out of your life, your home, your family, whatever may have happened to you personally, and now you have a taxable event on top of that piece of equity that was in your home because of a bad interpretation here. That's why this legislation is necessary. That's why it's been so strongly supported on both sides of the aisle all through the process here. That's why we need to overcome these hurdles we have, whether it's over in the Senate or what have you, to get this done. People deserve to have that predictability, that sustainability of their life, to be able to put themselves back into a good way again. So fire victims, Camp Fire in my area, Zog Fire, our other neighbors there, relief is on the way here. This has been a tremendous effort, a little out of the ordinary, to get this legislation back to this floor here tonight, and I think it'll pass resoundingly. I hope so. I ask for everybody's aye vote. Again, I appreciate all my colleagues, both sides of the aisle, for stepping forward and doing right by the fire victims, by the hurricane victims, by those folks in East Palestine, and others that are going to be added into this. This is how legislation should look. This is how a country pulls together, and I'm glad to be part of it. I yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman from California yields back. Gentleman